Yeah.
This is Violet Igor over here, and together we make the Mad Scientist, and Violet's got something to show you.
Well, I didn't. I was just showing you, but okay, to carry on, I have this is one pack of markers, colored pencils. No, not colored pencils. Those are
And you've got the same thingy as I have, same zipped up bag.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you're an enabler here for this woman. But these are my markers and pens and things, whatnot. These are here. Here, you want to see something cute? I made these with these are ink pens, and they're covered with polymer clay that I made.
Lovely, very nice.
Pretty.
Are they refillable?
No, I don't think they are, and that's the thing. They're
pity.
Yeah, pity. I mean, I probably could get that off and put a new one in, but I didn't think about it. It was just something I wanted to do. So anyway, what did you ask me?
About that round thing there on the left.
I have some pens that are, look over here. Can you see how they're falling down in there?
Yeah.
Because there's so much in here, and some are taller than others, and it's not a tight fit. And so there's plenty of room for them to fall over and get lost.
Uh-huh.
So I use things like this, which I don't think I can pull out.
No, don't take it out. Just tilt it over a bit so you can see. There you are.
It's a roll that crochet thread came on, and I save it. There's another one down here.
Lovely. Don't see that one, but yeah, I'll believe you. Thousands wouldn't.
Right. So it helps to keep them from falling over like this side. Over here, they're all falling over.
Yeah.
And then I have to dig through to find them. So I need to find more.
Me having a similar case to put pens in, I'm going to see if that will work in mine as well. Oh, but let's put me up again.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if mine will work.
That's
it. I've got a size.
Yeah.
So I reckon that might work. And I found this in the disabled ladies' loo in Marks and Spencer's. So you never know where you're going to find things.
The thing with these from the thread is they're very sturdy. They're very.
This is thicker than your normal toilet roll because this is one for a machine. You know.
Right. That's what makes it. There's a toilet roll. Cardboard thing. So they're really nice. And then I have, because you're such an enabler, then I have this. And this opens up to, there's 4 sections, and this has got my pens and pencils.
Oh, lovely. Yep.
So here's the thing. Here's a question I'm looking at. When I purchased some graphite pencils and whatnot, I got these what's the word I want? Burnisher?
Blending stick.
Blending stick. So somebody needs to do a short on a good way to use them because I have no clue.
There's a lot of words for them, but I forget the French word. But yeah, it's for blending pencil so that you soften the pencil mark so it becomes a smoother looking thing.
Right, and I just used see, I have it's full.
Wow, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, these are all my pencils. You were showing your pencils. These are all mine.
Well, these are not all mine. These are just some that I got recently.
These are special ones. These are special pencils. Can you imagine why?
Oh, well, they seem to have something written on them. It's got surf written on it. Mad Scientist surf. I go.
Yeah. And there's more. I mean, I have, this one is worn out. I've used this beyond the words are wearing off of it.
I should get another set and have mine not just say Chief Scientist, but Chief Nutball.
Okay, throw and towels over.
Well, not quite, because I want to show them this. But the only thing I don't like about this is that this dang case is the very devil to get into.
Let me. Oh yeah, I have one like that.
But I love the contents. I absolutely love the contents, and it's got this little what is it? This sort of not quite foam, but foam covered, flocking covered plastic inserty thing, which everything sits in. You see?
Yeah. Compartment.
Yeah, so everything's got its own little compartment, including these absolutely wonderful looking that I've never seen before, didn't know existed, teeny weeny little lead sharpeners. They only sharpen the lead. And as a mechanical pencil, they got lead in it, no wood. You need some of these. So I had no idea such things were. I got this and I'm going, what? It's got what? So there we go. And I've got a 0.3, a 0.5, a 0.7 and a 0.9. And this is a 2, this one. So all these leads are for this one because that's a 2. And they buy Nick Pro. I've got Nick Pro paintbrushes. So I like the Nick Pro paintbrushes so much that I thought, righto, and get the pencils. Yeah, so I was looking for pencils and they came out. I thought, oh, good idea, Nick Pro. So
difficult to reload.
Difficult to reload.
I'm looking to see. It looks the bigger one that you just had. It's differently designed, is what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's what I saw.
It's in there. You just pull this out,
right,
and slide it in there. That's all. That's
but
just
that looks like a different style than the other 4.
Yeah, it is slightly different. Yes,
slightly different. Yeah, okay. It wasn't just my eyes.
No, it is very slightly different. This is because it's a fatter one, I assume, because that's a 2, and everything else is less than a 1. That's a 0.9, 0.7, 0.5, and 0.3. But all those are a similar design. I thought they were rather nice. So a sort of champagne-y coffee colour.
Those are nice. All right, and then what's your point?
And I've got a 0.9 of a different make. I think it was Staedtler, and I've been using those for a while. And I've got this and a 0.3, and I've been using the 9 more than the 3. But the 3 is great for really, really small detail. You know, if you've got the 0.9, it's almost a 1, and the lead is quite large in comparison with this lead. Let's see if I can show you that.
Oh yeah, there's a big difference.
Come on, focus.
Yeah, it's iffy, but I get it. My question was, so what's your point with all of these? Do you have a plan?
I just think they're lovely.
Oh,
because I'm getting into sketching and drawing for watercolor. You see, I'm trying to get it to focus on that. Come on, focus, you beast, focus. Anyway, yeah, never mind. So I've got 0.5, 0.9, 0.3, and 0.7 leads in HB for these, and the lovely thing is I've got of the 2.1s in 4B, 2B, HB, and H, 2H. So I've got a nice selection of different leads for the bigger one, which is lovely. And I've also got, which I didn't buy it for, but I'm so thrilled to see it, coloured leads. Look at those. Wow.
Very
I can't wait to try those out. Lovely. Lovely. I just got them because I've been getting into more sketchy things, you see. So, and doing things like this. And when you're doing things like this, some of the little detail, like putting in the word thistle, does need a very small pencil, because otherwise you are not going to see that. It's just going to become a blur. So, yep, things like that. That's what I got it for. And I've been taking some photos of my house. And I've been watching some videos on people doing urban sketching and saying, why try exaggerating the perspective? It makes the thing look more interesting. So I thought I'd have a go at that. And that's why I went out and did some photos of my house. So I've got some photos of a building that I can exaggerate the perspective on.
Now,
get on with that.
If you saw that on a video and you have a link to that, I'd like that link because that sounds interesting.
Okay. Well, I've got it saved in my history somewhere, so I'll go find it. I saved it. I've got quite a lot of private playlists I've made now, just for my resources. But yeah, I can get it off whichever one of them. I usually put them in 2 or 3, like loose watercolor, urban sketching, other watercolor, because they do the sketching with pencil and then they go over it with watercolor, or there's somebody else that does the watercolor first and goes over it with pen, which is interesting also to look at. So I'll find a link for both of those. They're two different people, so they're quite interesting to look at. And I'm getting into this sort of different things because it makes what you're doing much more interesting. And the urban sketching is very loose. They hold their pencils the way we're supposed to hold our pens when we want to do paintbrushes when we want to do loose. At the sort of three-quarters way down, halfway down, but not up here. This is for detail, and we're not doing detail, we're doing loose.
Exactly.
Although here I'm doing detail. So
I've mentioned before the way we hold the implement.
Yeah, well, when you're doing big strokes, that works fine. But when you want to get in some detail, you need to hold it down this end. So that
I'll tell you where it's.
It's all practice, isn't it? Finding out the ways to do things.
Where it's coming in handy for me is going on my Procreate. Hold on, come back up, and I'm going to go over here. I'm drawing, right? Oh. Mm-hmm. There it goes. And you use the Apple Pencil. So how you hold I'm watching other artists, how they hold the pencil to do what they're doing. And because you're writing or drawing on a glass
surface,
yeah. So I have a screen protector on gives it a little bit of a
grain.
A paper feel to it.
Yeah, a bit of a feel of a grain. Yeah.
Instead of pure glass. So, but how you hold the pencil, you can't just necessarily come in like this. At some things, you have to really.
Yeah.
You have to be wide and you have to be loose, like you said. So there's no detail until I got to the stars, but for the rest of it, it was a wide, just.
That pen looks just like the one for my tablet.
I bet it's a lot more expensive, though.
Well, I haven't used it yet, so that's why I wanted to get something like your Procreate. But of course, I haven't got an iPad. What I've got is Samsung, so it's Android.
Can do this in Krita.
Yeah, I haven't got that. I need to go and have a look at that because I haven't tried anything like that. I've been too busy doing everything else.
Right. You don't do a lot of digital. The reason I've loved this is because I can crawl into bed at night and do that. This is when I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2:00 in the morning. It's like I don't have to have my phone, my computer, my laptop. This is very portable. And I could sit out on the back step with this and draw. I can't do stuff like that on my phone or my Kindle because it's just too small of an area for me to work. This is a slightly bigger. This is 12.9, I think, or 10.9. But
it's 12 something.
12, I think it's 12.9, but it's big enough that I can work with, and it's portable, and it's so lightweight. I'm very happy with it.
Russ, I think it's the same size as my tablet by the sound of it.
Russ has the same. Oh no, I don't think he has the same tablet as you.
Tablet, but I don't know what size hers is.
Yeah, he has the same tablet, but maybe a different size.
I think he's got the same size tablet, but he's got less storage on his. I think that's what it was, wasn't it?
Either way, he likes his. He's very happy with his. And didn't you get a stylus with yours? Yes, he did. But he's a finger poker, I've noticed.
A finger poker?
Yeah, he's a finger.
What is a finger poker?
Walk my finger.
He pokes the screen like this. he's an aggressive person. It is what it is. It's like Shrek. It's like living with Shrek.
Pretty.
Okay, here we go. Conversation over. Let's see what we're doing here. We're going to do some more of this.
Yeah, just doing a little bit of this.
Very good. This has really come along from the first stages.
It has, hasn't it? When you look back at the first stages, you go,
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you dream.
Looking at the blank spoon there, it's like, oh, get this one like the others.
Well, you get there. Yeah. That's the thing is I don't see you or I don't get the feel that you're extremely intimidated by the blankness yet.
I was to start with. I
Maybe.
really was.
I think that was just general anxiety for the project itself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
But you've really, really brought this together. In case anyone.
What it is, it's like when you hate walking and you're on the cross country run, aka walk at school, or you're going somewhere that you've got to go. Just go with it. Just
do
I've got
it.
to go as far as that neck of the lamppost, and I'll be a bit closer then. You just keep going, step by step.
Yep.
Way up.
But
I've got my reference over here.
This is why I wanted the gold art pens.
Oh yeah.
I've got a watercolor postcard.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to do some gold highlights. I don't know if you could see that. You know how I like to
doodle. Yeah, I
on,
can see the little squiggles.
I like to doodle on my cards.
Yeah, there we go. That came in better.
Yep. But I wanted to do some gold highlights on this one.
Uh-huh.
Put some gold. I would have done copper if I could have found my copper, but I don't know where it went. It wandered off. So their darn camera is not cooperating. There we go. We just got to put it right in our face close up. That's all. Okay, back to you. Full screen.
Okay. Well, all I'm doing here is just softening this up. Now, I think I did have, what's it one on here? Let me see. Yes, there we are. So I've got that one there. And that's the one I'm doing, the lower spoon. It's the upper spoon had two bubbles at the top, and this one's got a one at this end, and then a slightly bigger one, and then the rest of it's spoon shaped. So it hasn't been so battered as the others.
It almost looks like it has a pool of tea water in the spoon.
Well, that's the shapes of the different bits, like the highlights and the dent and all this kind of bit. So you can see that there's, on this here, there's a little piece there, and that's what that bit is there. Okay. And then we've got this dent with a little bit above, and that's what this bit and that is. So they all correspond. It's just you've got to look at 3 or 4 things to see what you're doing. So now there's Payne's grey. I want a little bit more of the shadow grey. So I'm doing the shadow grey bit first, like I did before, and I'm sort of adding water so that I've got a nice thin wash, a less fearsome colour. And then I'm going around here and I'm adding a little bit more to this side. So I want a little shade of not so much there. Not so dark a colour along this edge here, because that's the rim of the spoon there. So I'm just putting that in. You can turn this around a bit so that your hand follows a line more naturally. And it only goes down to there. And then we've got a similar thing happening on the other side. But before we do that, I want to continue on with this to try to keep that going. Try to keep this soft here. So I want a little bit more colour there. Pick a little bit more of the shadow grey up. Pick up what we've got there. And that dips down a bit there. Or does it dip there? Went a bit too far there, so let's lift it up while it's still fresh. Because we can put the blue there. Now, I'm finding that the grey on my reference is quite blending in a bit with the blue. So the grey is a bluey grey, just here.
You know, I'm realizing too that you have a you're only using 1, 2, 3, 4 colors here.
Yeah.
This is, I think, only 4 for the most part.
1, 2, 3. Oh, wait a minute. 4, 5, because we've got the greys.
I was looking over at your palette to see where you were dipping, because I know that's from the other day too.
Yeah, but I am mixing things together. So, I mean, it's actually 6 if you count this.
Right.
Which I wanted for a paler blue, but still with some sparkle. So, but it is a pretty limited palette because the blues are not the same blue as this one, but they look the same on there. But they look within the same family because this looks the same sort of colour as this, even though it isn't. And when you hold it up, you can see the glint there. You see that? You can see that it's got mica in that bit.
Yep, I see it. Very nice too.
So, what am I doing? I want a bit more blue there. And I want that to sort of melt in to the grey. And it does go down to here. But it's still grey though. It's still grey. Even though it's blue, it's blue-grey, it's grey. Blue, blue-grey, grey, grey, blue, blue-grey. But this is getting darker, so I need a bit more of the shadow grey to add to that. Because this bit is definitely darker. And it goes up there and it sort of comes down like that. Sort of goes there like that. Just a bit. It's another one of these times where you're adding more colour over the top. So I want to do more of that. I'm going to have to move these. You can see here I've got these in the way. So I'm going to have to move those because what I want to do, shut up, is to create another pool of the grey there. The shadow grey. More water. In fact, I need that big brushy so I can get some water on there. It's easier than forever poking in your little brush to the water and then wondering why you haven't got a load of water on the palette because you didn't get a big enough brush. And why your arm aches from constantly transporting water. Right, so I've got a fair bit of water and paint there. Now around here there's a bit right like that. Goes in and then comes out. Connects up there just. Got to deepen this again and again, but I think I'm beginning to think I need to let that dry a bit first. There's a bit here that comes down. Big shadow there. which wanders off into a paler shadow over there. Like that. You can see that it's this piece over here I'm looking at. So we've got quite a white bit there in the middle. It's more pronounced here than it is on the one I've got on the screen up there. So, again, I'm using two references. And there's some more here. There's a patch there. And there's quite a lot here. And a big sort of swathe. And there's a bit there. Let's move that off. This is much the darkest, absolutely the darkest bit. Except for this bit here, which is over here. And that goes right to the bottom edge. There is no light at the bottom edge here. So we take that right down. And it goes up like that. But it does go down to there. And we've got a corresponding blue patch on here. And we've got another bit of dark here. And a bit of dark coming right over there. The thing about these is because you've got a reference, you can concentrate on what you're doing without bothering about the overall picture. You can concentrate on the little patch you're doing at the moment, and then when you stop concentrating and look at what you've got, you go, oh yeah, I see how that works now. There we go. If I stop talking, we can speed this up and suddenly we've got something completed.
I didn't have to, but I speeded up a lot in the others, and it was like, wow, I hope nobody gets dizzy from that. But
well, I think you could have done with speeding it up a bit more because it was quite long.
Oh well, there's always the option in YouTube itself to speed it up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm doing what they call glazes now by putting another layer after that one had dried on top. And the thing about cutlery like this that's been bashed about with holes in it is you don't have to be vitally accurate. You can get away with not being all that accurate because when you look at the whole thing, it's going to look okay. I mean, you can't go glaringly off base, but a bit. Right, I'm going to do a bit of the blue because I want to. I missed blue, what's blue? Now I want a bit of the light blue, which is this Tiff. I think it may be short for Tiffany, but I'm not sure. I think it's one of the inks, Nibs Inks and Inks, Nibs and Nibs Inks. And, I can't remember that one. Chileans. A little bit in the middle here, and a little bit there while it's still damp, and a little bit along this edge. And I'd like a little bit there. Probably add some more of the other colour too. And some here. A little tinge of it in here as well. Not very much though. There's still a little bit in here. Just a light brushing there. Blends in there. Not so much anywhere else though. It comes right to the edge though, there. There's a browny bit there, but that comes down there. This may spread a little more here. And there's a little bit more grey, very light grey, just there, to pick that up. I can't paint that now. Got to do it later. Make sure I'd like to mix the glaze I put there in with that and with this so that it doesn't look so odd, because it does blend in. There we go. And then we've got more here, and it's lighter like that. And there's a patch there, and this is a darker patch here by that. And that's all grey, but of different depth. I'm just sort of softening the edges a little here. Just a little. That's a bit less. That's all grey, but it's lighter, so we'll just put that in. And then I'll just point this in using the tissue like a paintbrush to lighten that up. So what I want to do is put... No, I don't want to do that. But then I want to do that. To keep it wet, but I want to blur the edges. This is what I'm trying to do now. So if I put water in here, I'm going to add a little bit of the Quin Gold and a burnt sienna or whatever in a minute that I was using before, which I think is the burnt sienna. Or it might be the Quin burnt sienna. One of those. Where was I? Oh yes, I was softening these edges. I want to go over all of that. A little bit of the Quin. Don't want so much water on that. It's just a dusting around the edges. Just a little. Some in the grey even. And there's a bit of this, a little bit of it just here as well. I think I might even put, no, don't go well. Now there's a little bit up here, just the tiniest waft of it on the edge. And that goes back into the grey. We need some other grey. We need a tiny bit there. Tiny bit there. Blending it into the edge, because we've got a line of light along that edge that we don't want to disturb. That's darker there, but I don't like the way that is not blending. All of this edge here. No light, it's only blue. Same with that one. I want to emphasize that a little more. And a little bit more here. And I've got a bit of a hard line there, which I don't really want. Bit of a hard line. Better? That's much better. I don't like that hard line either. A little bit more of that. Come down here. Not yet. This is a darker bit, which needs a little bit of darkening. Need to go slow on edges where you do want a hard line, and make sure that the bit you're going up against is dry, or the bit you're putting down is damp into wet, so it won't move so much. Darker bit there. This is darker than it looks. The thing you've got to remember when you're doing, adding darker to places is possibly that the reason it's not as dark as you thought it was when you thought you painted it dark is because the paint has dried, and it always dries lighter than when you put it down fresh and wet. More there. Need a bit more of the actual shadow grey colour rather than just water. Put a bit more of the dark there. Again, it keeps drying on me, and I want it darker. I've still got a little, now that it's drying, you can see that there's still a little bit of blue. Well, I can see there's a little bit of blue still in this piece here. So that's good. But that needs to be darker again. So that's given me that light line there, which I should have carried on down here, but I've gone over it. So that's something to touch up later. Again, that will dry lighter than I can see it at now. Bit there, it goes around there. I sometimes find that my eye, it's sort of going, where was I? Where was I? What was I looking at? What bit was I looking at? So you just need to sort of calm down and go back over it again. Focus on what you're doing. Don't worry about it. After all, when it dries, it's going to look a bit different than you thought anyway. Now there's something I've got to do here, and that's put in a very, very delicate line here, if I can manage it. Is this the smallest one? No, it isn't. Let's see if I can manage it with a smaller one. Because I've got to be really thin here. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at this bit here. Right, so it does go all the way up and all the way down. All the way up, even on this bit. There, good. That gives that little bit of definition there that was missing. I'm trying to find something else to do, but I can't. Oh, there is that. Spreading into there. I think we want that to do that. That's the heaviest black, anyway. I think the best idea is to leave that now. I might see if I can get all of that up a bit. So I think it's a little bit too heavy, and it's really just this piece here. Here that is dark, and the piece there that is dark. This is dark, but it's not as dark as all that. I just want to make sure it melds in. I think that's it. I think there's nothing more to do with that. Yep, I think we're about. I think that's all that I can do. I think leave it now, see how it dries. But there are little bits that I can come back at, like here, but I haven't got the pictures in front of me at the moment, and I don't want to mess up what I've got by suddenly realizing I want to go back and do this. No, leave it now.
Yep.
And let it dry out, and we'll see what it looks like when it's dry.
Okay.
I mean, it's only an exercise. It doesn't have to be fantastic, but I'm quite pleased with it. So, it's working out quite well. Hello! You come back! Hooray! Make sure I rinse out these brushes, because I'm inclined to forget to do that. Right. I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from me for now. And let's see what you've got there under your hands.
I put some gold highlights here and there. I put some dots, gold dots, really accentuate. And then my favorite PM Artist Studio stencil always comes out.
This little diamond shape.
Yeah, it's the lattice. It's the broken lattice.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've worn this one out. It's my favorite from PM Artist Studio.
Lovely. I do like those sort of lattices. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So that is us for today. And I think, I will probably do some little touches up now and then, but I think that's about as good as it's going to get. That's it. That's Folkstorm.
Pretty darn good.
It's interesting anyway. It's not sort of your normal let's draw a boat, which is what I'm going to go on and do next. Hopefully. So we'll see how that works out. Okay. We will say bye-bye for now. So
see you
there
next
we
time.
are. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.